Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to unpack a space that, honestly, most people completely underestimate. We are taking a really deep, structured look into the surprisingly lucrative landscape of Facebook's 2026 monetization program. We're going to break down exactly how the platform has totally overhauled the way creators get paid, shifting from these old, clunky, fragmented systems to a highly profitable, unified model. Now, if you're like most folks, you probably still think of Facebook as just a place for family updates, right? Or kind of like a digital scrapbook for looking at your aunt's vacation photos. But while the general public treats it like a relic, incredibly savvy creators are silently treating it like a high-yield ATM. If you've completely written off the platform as a thing of the past, well, you're absolutely going to want to pay very close attention to how the rules of the game have changed here. Let's kick things off with a number just to really put this entire opportunity into perspective. $26,000. That is the jaw-dropping monthly revenue a single Reddit creator is generating right now just by managing a network of Facebook pages. And to be perfectly clear, this isn't some massive media company. There's no studio, no big production crew, no complex brand sponsorship deals being hashed out in boardrooms. No, this is literally a single individual operating from their laptop, pulling in this income purely from Facebook's native monetization tools. It just brilliantly illustrates exactly how much capital Meta is injecting into the creator economy right now to, win back the world's attention. But here's what actually makes this whole thing so fascinating. Let's look at the exact workflow making this possible, because the math here is honestly staggering. We're talking about a maximum of 40 minutes per week per page. That's it. They spend literally 1 minute creating the page, 10 minutes setting up unique AI-generated branding, and then just 6 minutes a day creating content by combining high-definition photos with AI-assisted headlines. AI basically just removes that daily, exhausting grind of content creation. It empowers a creator to just sit down, schedule an entire week's worth of content in a single 40-minute batching session, and then just step away while the automated system does the heavy lifting. It's a completely streamlined approach to building digital assets. So I guess this brings us to a pretty provocative question. Is Facebook dead, or are you just doing it wrong? A lot of people still operate under this outdated assumption that the platform has totally lost its edge. But we really have to look at the broader landscape here. Meta is locked in an all-out platform war. They are aggressively competing with TikTok and YouTube Shorts for user attention. And because of that fierce competition, Meta has heavily incentivized activity on their platform. The mechanics for generating entirely passive income are sitting right there, provided you stop treating Facebook like a digital scrapbook and actually start treating it like the unified content engine it has become in 2026. Section 1. 2026 Content Monetization Rules. The shift to a unified system. To really grasp the opportunity here, you kind of have to understand the upgrade. Back in the day, Facebook's monetization was a fragmented, deeply frustrating mess. You had separate signups for Reels, in-stream ads, bonuses. It was all over the place. Worse, there was a hard $1,500 cap on certain earnings. Imagine having a video go incredibly viral, racking up millions of views, only to literally have your earnings frozen because you hit some arbitrary ceiling. Plus, you needed a massive 20,000 followers just to get your foot in the door. Today, though, Meta has completely merged everything into one unified content monetization program. They've totally removed that upper limit on earnings, meaning highly viral content can now generate upwards of $10,000 per page without ever hitting a wall, and they've slashed the barrier to entry down to just 10,000 followers. Getting invited into this unified program comes down to a pretty strict eligibility checklist. First off, you need to hit that 10,000 follower mark. Now, according to our Reddit insider, this can actually be achieved remarkably fast with a really smart targeted ad spend of just $60. So no, you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on marketing. The trick is simply running targeted engagement campaigns in low CPM countries just to hit the raw metric requirement. It satisfies the algorithm cheaply and effectively. Alongside that, you're going to need 5 videos published in the last 30 days, 600,000 view minutes over 60 days, and of course, you absolutely must maintain a clean record with 0 policy violations. But what if you already have an audience somewhere else? Well, Facebook has introduced a brilliant shortcut, and it's called the Creator Fast Track. Think of this as kind of a talent war bounty. If you already have 20,000 followers on YouTube or TikTok, Meta actively wants to steal you away from their rivals. If you migrate your content over and post 15 eligible Reels per month, spread across at least 10 separate days, Facebook will entirely bypass those view requirements. Instead, they'll just pay you a guaranteed monthly rate, ranging from $100 all the way up to $3,000 upfront. They are literally paying a premium to bring established talent directly into their ecosystem. Section 2. Winning the first 3 seconds. Cracking the code on visual hooks. Now that we actually know the rules of the game, let's shift our focus a bit to the creative execution. How do you actually go about capturing the views needed to trigger these monetization payouts? Well, this quote from Coinus Data Insights reveals the absolute core psychology of the platform. A 1-second view means someone paused. A 3-second view means someone paid attention. In a feed literally designed for endless, mindless doom scrolling, 3 seconds is an absolute eternity to the algorithm. Meta heavily rewards early viewer retention. The algorithm strictly tracks exactly how long people watch, and that 3-second mark, that's the ultimate battleground. Hold them for 3 seconds and Meta pushes your content way further into the feed. Fail to do that and you are buried instantly. No second chances. Let's deconstruct exactly how you win those 3 critical seconds. Here's the anatomy of the perfect first frame. First up, movement and color. You absolutely have to break the scroll immediately with intense visual contrast and action. Second, keep your headline tight, like around 27 characters tight. State the problem or the benefit instantly so they know what they're getting. And third, you must include hard-coded captions. Remember, Facebook video autoplay is entirely silent on mobile. Think about your own scrolling habits for a second. If a video is visually boring and completely silent, your thumb has already swiped past it before your brain even registers what the video is about. If your opening relies on audio to hook the viewer, you've already lost. And to really maximize the visual impact of that perfectly crafted hook, your video resolution needs to be 1440 by 1800 pixels. That is the optimal 4:5 vertical format. By using this specific ratio, you're basically playing a game of digital real estate. You physically take up way more space on the user's mobile screen. This leaves significantly less room at the top and the bottom of the screen for distractions from other posts, which effectively forces the viewer's eye right into your narrative. You are essentially trapping their attention exactly where you want it. Section 3, Most Profitable AI Content, Aligning Format with the Algorithm. So, okay, we've captured the attention, but how do we convert it into the highest possible revenue? When we dive into the data from Halo AI, we see that video completely dominates, period. But the real gold mine? That lies in the duration. Short reels are absolutely fantastic for follower growth and, hitting those initial bonus metrics, but videos that cross the 3-minute mark are the true revenue drivers here. Why? Well, because crossing 3 minutes unlocks mid-roll ad placements. Pre-roll ads pay okay, but mid-roll ads drastically increase your RPM, your revenue per 1,000 views. And that's because they capture audiences who have already proven their intent by watching for several minutes, right smack in the middle of a really compelling narrative. When you're deciding what 3-minute videos to actually make, the data really points to 3 highly distinct formats. At the very top, we have faceless educational videos. These completely dominate because they answer specific search intents, things like personal finance or health and wellness. Advertisers will pay absolutely top dollar to appear next to this content because the viewers are highly motivated, high-ticket buyers. Right behind that is narrative and storytelling, which naturally excels at keeping that crucial viewer retention extremely high. And finally, niche product visuals. These are incredibly effective for direct sales and essentially turning casual viewers into immediate e-commerce conversions. Section 4. Scaling without getting banned. Protecting your digital real estate. Now we arrive at the final and honestly, perhaps the most critical technical hurdle. How do you safely scale this strategy across dozens of pages? Just like our Reddit creator managing a massive network for $26K a month. We have to understand the hidden, often fatal danger of account linking. This happens when Meta's backend systems connect your multiple pages because you're using the same device fingerprint. And by that I mean the unique digital signature your physical laptop leaves behind when you browse, or even the same IP address. If you run 40 pages from one laptop and one single page gets a minor policy violation, Meta instantly links them all together. That enforcement action will cascade, and it will shadow ban your entire, highly profitable operation literally overnight. So the absolutely critical question becomes, how do you bypass Meta's incredibly strict tracking systems when you're operating a scaled content machine? How do you keep all of these lucrative digital assets completely separated in the eyes of an algorithm that is quite literally designed to track your every move? Let that tension sink in for a second, because solving this is the difference between a thriving business and a permanently banned account. The professional solution here is cloud phones, specifically utilizing services like multi-login. You absolutely do not use your personal laptop or your personal cell phone for this. Instead, you run each individual Facebook page in its own isolated, real Android cloud environment. Each cloud phone gets assigned a unique IMEI, which is basically the physical hard-coded ID number of a phone, and its own residential proxy.
That makes the connection look exactly like it's coming from a normal everyday home Wi-Fi router rather than some suspicious server farm. And because of this deep, deep physical isolation, Meta's backend systems just see 40 entirely independent, perfectly normal devices. It prevents any shadow ban cascades and completely bulletproofs your digital real estate.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer. We've mapped out the entirely unified monetization structure that rewards creators without those pesky caps. We've completely decoded the exact anatomy of the perfect visual hook to win those crucial first 3 seconds of silent autoplay. We've identified that 3-minute, AI-driven educational content is exactly where the massive mid-roll ad revenue lives. And finally, we've explored the cloud phone technology required to actually safely scale this into an empire without triggering a ban. The blueprint is wide open. So the question is, will you stay on the sidelines relying on old assumptions about what Facebook used to be? Or are you ready to claim your share of the 2026 creator economy? Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.